Hi guys, so Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab was interviewed by the Aspen Institute. The Aspen Institute is a non-profit organization that promotes a free, just and equitable society. Now, they were speaking to him about the situation in Northern Ireland and the Northern Ireland Protocol. And unfortunately, Dominic Raab once again demonstrated his lack of understanding on this issue. So let's hear what he had to say.
And finally, on this St. Patrick's Day, I wanted to ask you about prospects for resolving the trade disputes with Brussels over Northern Ireland. There has been a joint resolution now proposed in the U.S. Senate. There's bipartisan support to block any unilateral trade agreement between the UK and the US if there's anything that would upset the Good Friday Accords. Can you reassure American political figures and Americans that that is inviolate?
Every time I've been out to the US, I've met with Richie Neal and the Irish American Caucus. I met with Brendan, who I know is up asking a question in a moment. We understand the US's commitment to the Good Friday Agreement. Of course, our argument has always been that it is the EU, by trying to erect a barrier down the Irish Sea between Northern Ireland and Great Britain, that is the one challenging both the Northern Ireland Protocol, the spirit of it, but also the Good Friday Agreement.
Oh my God. Brexit is the problem here, not the Northern Ireland Protocol, and not that the EU are putting a border down the Irish Sea. Well, first of all, if that was the case, even if it was the EU that was deciding to put a border in the Irish Sea, then why did you sign up to that? Why did you agree to it if you have a problem with it? I'm losing patience with the likes of Dominic Raab, because he's just lying here. As I've said before, I'm blue in the face explaining this. Because of Brexit, there were three possible outcomes in regards to Northern Ireland. There was a border on the island of Ireland, there was a border in the Irish Sea, or there was no border at all because the UK as a whole would remain within the single market and the customs union. Now, Dominic Raab, as a Brexiteer, didn't want the last option. So there were two other options. A border on the island of Ireland, which would be in conflict with the Good Friday Agreement, or no conflict with the Good Friday Agreement by having a border in the Irish Sea. He can't complain about the border in the Irish Sea now by saying that he wants to continue to support the Good Friday Agreement. There's no other way out of this. And just blaming the EU doesn't get you out of this fix.
We're absolutely committed to making the Northern Ireland Protocol work, but what we're not going to do...
We're committed to... He doesn't understand the Northern Ireland Protocol. The Northern Ireland Protocol means that there's going to be a border in the Irish Sea. You can't say we're committed to making it work, but we don't want it. It doesn't make any sense. I honestly believe at this stage either Dominic Raab is lying or Dominic Raab doesn't understand the Northern Ireland Protocol. I don't know which is more plausible.
Do see the integrity of the United Kingdom put at risk, which would be obviously something that we would take incredibly seriously, but also would jeopardize the Good Friday Agreement.
Notice he doesn't explain how. He just said it would jeopardize the Good Friday Agreement. In what way? I wish somebody would ask him. Dominic, I'd love to speak with Dominic Raab. So the Good Friday Agreement is being jeopardized by the protocol. Can you explain how that's the case? Where in the Good Friday Agreement does it talk about a border in the Irish Sea? Because there are numerous mentions to infrastructure on the island of Ireland that needs to be removed. But there's nothing in the Good Friday Agreement, the Belfast Agreement, about a border in the Irish Sea. So please explain to me.
The key thing is, and every time I've been to the US, we've either had an up or down in the Brexit soap opera, if you like. And I think the key thing is we've got this free trade deal with the EU, and that gives us a legally binding arrangement. It also gives us the joint committee with the Northern Ireland Protocol, where the two sides can work together. Let's take the heat out of that, and let's resolve it on a pragmatic.
It's just a word salad. I know there's a Northern Ireland Protocol. I know there's a joint committee. Let's take the heat out of the situation. What is he talking about?
Basis, but we also need the EU and those on the other side of this negotiation to live up to their commitments.
What commitments have they not lived up to? Once again, he's saying things, but he's not actually giving any examples, or he's not actually backing it up with any evidence. He's claiming things, but he's not actually saying, yeah, the EU is not living up to its commitments. How has it not lived up to its commitments?
Not to put at risk the integrity of the single market between Northern Ireland and Great Britain.
But you signed that away. You signed that away when you agreed to the withdrawal agreement. You can't go back and complain about it now. Boris Johnson's Brexit deal, remember the oven-ready deal? You can't complain about Boris Johnson's oven-ready deal now because you campaigned for it. You pushed it through Parliament. You actually stopped members of Parliament scrutinising it. And now you're saying there's a problem with it.
And that itself underpins the Good Friday Agreement.
What? It's like somebody who hasn't studied for an exam and they just crammed everything at the last minute. They just picked up a book and are trying to read, okay, there's this, and that. He doesn't understand anything about what's going on here.
No, I want to thank you for letting us participate with you. It's always a great pleasure to see you.
I don't know if Andrea Mitchell, if she understands the Northern Ireland Protocol or the Good Friday Agreement, but she's been extremely diplomatic with Dominic Raab. Dominic Raab has demonstrated he doesn't understand anything about what's going on. It's dangerous because he's blaming the EU, and when he blames the EU, the loyalists in Northern Ireland sit up and listen. Our Home Secretary from our state, from our country, is standing up to the EU, calling them out, blaming them for something that he campaigned for, that he wanted, that he pushed through Parliament without scrutiny, and he's not getting any pushback. Now, I understand that these people, it's not their position, they've invited him to speak. It's not a debate, it's not a challenge for him, he's just been asked questions. But this is sad. This is depressing because Dominic Raab is getting away with telling lies. He's getting away with falsehoods, and he's getting away with blaming someone who's not responsible. He campaigned for Brexit. He's a Brexiteer. We have to remember that. And how he can start talking about the Northern Ireland Protocol, we're going to support it, but it's damaging the integrity of the United Kingdom. How he can get away with saying that is mind-blowing. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?